of the questions you may be hearing a lot these days are, what is critical race theory? 2021 saw Fox News mentioning critical race theory nearly 2,000 times. However, recently, critical race theory has come under fire. So join me, investigative reporter CC, as we find some answers to these questions. Hello and good evening. In our first step of our investigation, we sat down with early childhood education college student Ms. Conrad. Currently, she's studying the works of Dr. Gloria Lansing Billings, renowned scholar and critical race theorist. And this is what she had to say. Simply put, CRT takes a critical look at the laws and institutions that intentionally undermine people of color. This means that there are legal laws that are purposely racially discriminatory. When asked why CRT was under attack in education, Ms. Conrad stated, people do definitely misunderstand that what CRT is. They don't understand how multifaceted it is. It's just not about race, it's about gender, class, and disability. CCNEWs also noted that misunderstanding seemed to be a common theme of this argument. We interviewed middle school parent on the topic of CRT. I've heard about critical race theory before. I didn't know too much about it, but I know that last year especially they talked about it a lot, but I'm not too sure what they are teaching in my daughter's school. The communication has been really bad since COVID started, the pandemic started. So later we interviewed a middle school student and asked her what were her thoughts.
I don't really know much about it, but I have heard about it on the news.
To clear up this confusion, Ms. Conrad explains what does CRT look like in the classroom. CRT provides a framework for educators to use. Educators can move their curriculum that is told from a white standpoint and start to include history and experiences in the voices of people of color. Instruction needs to move from being a deficit-based approach, which when it comes to people of color, we need to stop thinking that children of color are always in need of help. School discipline policies needs to be examined because they disproportionately impact students of color. So as the battle wages on CRT, Ms. Conrad closed out her thoughts about CRT by mentioning desegregation. Dr. Gloria Lansing Billings brings up the subject of desegregation. I thought it was a very interesting observation, which I felt that was worth sharing. Segregation and desegregation are still happening. And if you look closely, they are two sides of the same coin. In strongly segregated communities, there are budget concerns that have an influence on school systems that serve students of color. On the flip side, we know that students of color do not receive equitable treatment in mostly white school districts. So when you take a closer look, you notice that nothing has really changed. And this is exactly why CRT is important in education. This is all I have for you this week. Join us next week as we discuss the teacher shortage in North Carolina. Thank you and good night.